What if UFOs aren't aliens at all? J.D. Vance may have just raised the question nobody expected.
So I have like effectively unlimited access to information.
Unlimited.
But I think that one of the things that I have learned about the job is you're doing so much on the day-to-day. Like you're calling senators and trying to get them to pass a piece of legislation. You're meeting with staff about what should go in the housing bill. You're negotiating with the Iranians or the Qataris or the Israelis about something that's going on in the Middle East. And a lot of it, like the UFO thing, like I've said that I'm going to look into the UFO thing. And I've been saying that for a year and a half, and I haven't done it yet because I haven't had the time. And so some of this is like you just have to have the time to actually punch through the walls and to like go to the gatekeepers and say you have to open up that gate because I'm the vice president. And some of it is just hard to actually get to because I don't have the time to sort of focus on that one issue for any particular period of time. So the answer is you have unlimited access to information. The constraint is not people tell me no. The constraint is you're just so busy doing other shit.
The UFO thing, I think, would be something that I would want to pursue.
Yes.
I mean, just for my own personal information, I would want to know what is going on.
Correct.
So the question is, are these special access programs that are above top secret and that this is our own stuff, or is this something that's far more bizarre and something that is interdimensional from another planet, whatever,
Correct.
Fill in the blank.
Yeah, is it foreign? And if it's foreign, is it
Right.
6,000 miles away or like 6,000 light years away?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And that is, I will answer that question eventually.
Really?
Yes. I'll get to the bottom of it.
How are you going to have the time to do that? Like, and what would that entail?
Eventually, I'll have like a few weeks where I can just sit down and worry about that problem.
You said something that I thought was very bizarre.
Here's an interesting thing, though. I will say that is one of those conspiracy theories that there are a lot of people in our government who are interested in this, meaning our current political leadership who are interested in this question. And it hasn't, like, nothing has really happened yet, which makes me a little bit less interested in it. Because there are a lot of people with access to those files and access to that information, and nothing has changed since Biden left office, which makes me think other people have looked into it and they just haven't necessarily found something. But anyway, I eventually, I promise you, I'm going to like sit down and spend a couple of weeks trying to figure out what's in these files. I just haven't done it yet.
You said something that I thought was very odd.
Okay.
You said that you thought that they were demons.
Okay. I did say that.
What did you mean by that?
Well, first of all, there not just in Christianity, but in a number of world religions, there are a number of mystical things that happened, extra dimensional, I'm not one of these people who's like a hyper rationalist. Like I think that there are things happening in the world that we're not always seeing. I believe in God. I think that there is a kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not extra real.
Supernatural.
Supernatural. There are supernatural things that are happening. Okay. So if you look historically at, things that are similar to the alien phenomenon, where, some like strange being, it kind of looks like a human being, but doesn't look like, but it's not human. And it shows a particular interest in human beings, and then it takes the human beings and, does weird experiments on them. I think my argument is that's either bullshit, right? You're either talking to a crazy person, which I don't like. I'm not saying just because I believe in the supernatural doesn't mean I believe in everything supernatural. But if we're talking about an extraterrestrial being that is human-like but not human, that contains effectively infinite powers and is torturing human beings, you can call it an alien if you want, but I think there's a lot of historical precedent to call that a demon.
Well, a lot of these stories and these accounts.
We have one right here on the
demonic
coaster.
Alien. Yeah, that's the mothership logo. A lot of these accounts are not of beings being or people being tortured. They're people that are being exposed to information, like the Travis Walton story is a very famous case
I
from
don't
the
know this one. I'm going
1970s.
to read about it on the way back, though.
It's this guy right here. I got a Travis Walton bobblehead. He's one of the most famous UFO abduction stories.
Okay.
There's a movie with D.B. Cooper in the...
And like, what is the information that they gave Travis Walton?
was D.B. Cooper that was the... D.B. Sweeney. D.B. Cooper was the guy who stole the money and jumped out of the plane. Fire in the Sky. There's a movie.
Oh, of course.
from
Yeah, I remember this movie. I don't think I ever saw it, though.
1993. Good movie, but sensational. And Travis Walton says they made a bunch of shit up, and that's not what happened. But
Yeah.
the story was that he was a logger in Arizona, and he was leaving a job. They were all together in a truck, and these loggers saw this light, land in this forest, and they went to go investigate. He jumps out of the truck, and he gets close to it, and he's hit by some beam of light and knocked to the ground. They take off, and then they realize, like, we've got to go back. We don't know what's going on. Like, they turn around. They go back to get him. They're freaked out and panicked. They go back to get him. He's gone. The police interview them. They think that they killed him. There's an investigation. 5 days later, he shows up, wearing the same clothes, and he has this crazy story. And he had been in this spaceship for 5 days, is what he said, and that they had fixed him, they healed him, and then they had communicated with him telepathically, and he had this very bizarre encounter with these beings that aren't from here. Or if they are from here, they're very different than us.
Okay. So I guess my response to that would be extra powerful beings, in this case, communicating telepathically, helping people. Sounds like an angel. So I guess
Right.
let me
Right.
make the steel man version of my
Okay.
argument. It's that, okay, my dog, there's no real difference between me and God to my dog. I can literally walk into a room and turn the light on. I can make food appear instantaneously. I can transport myself across time and space very, very rapidly. If you're a human being with intelligence, but not supernatural intelligence, I guess my point is, again, this could all be bullshit. This could all be fake. That's a possibility. But if it's real, is there really a meaningful difference between an angel or a demon and a space alien with super technology? To our perception, they would largely just look like the same thing.
I think we're capable of nuance, and we're capable of understanding that human beings are far more complex and evolved than chimpanzees. And we could imagine a world where if we don't blow ourselves up and there's not a nuclear bomb and we don't get hit by an asteroid, if we live another 1,000,000 years, that we would have technology that's indistinguishable from magic. Right?
Exactly. That's
Right,
exactly
but that
what I'm
doesn't
saying. And then we
mean
could
that
show
they're
up on another
angels and
planet.
demons. It just means they're hyper-evolved, advanced civilizations from somewhere else.
And what I'm saying is the perception of those beings to a more simple intelligence,
Sure.
there's not a meaningful difference. So you're like talking about what it is that these things actually are. And I guess what I'm talking about is, how would a human being with my level of intelligence or your level of intelligence in 2026 understand what's going on?
Right, but from a biblical perspective, there's a very big difference between a demon and a hyper-intelligent being from somewhere else.
I mean, a demon or a hyper-intelligent, malicious...
If demons are real, if there really are dark forces in the universe, and they're disembodied dark forces, these things that exist,
Yes.
and then there's also powerful light forces in the universe. That they don't have to be mutually exclusive to the concept of hyper-intelligent other species.
Absolutely.
When you're looking at an insanely vast universe.
I don't think they have to be, but I think that it is interesting to me that for most of human history, we would have understood supernatural, hyper-powerful, hyper-knowledgeable things as sort of celestial, or
We
celestial
would
is
have
actually a
thought of
terrible
a
word.
cell phone as being sorcery. I mean, that doesn't
Maybe
mean
it
it's
is.
sorcery. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just technology. That argument doesn't make any sense to me.
Well,
And this is not discounting the possibility of demons or discounting the possibility of angels.
well, I guess I understand your point conceptually. I don't actually disagree with it. So I don't think we're saying something different. That, metaphysically, there could be two separate things going on. There could be there could be extra Earth, outside of Earth, space aliens, and there could also be angels and demons. These could be two totally separate things. One could be true, not the other. I totally concede and agree with that point. I guess what I'm saying is it's a distinction that is conceptually interesting to me, but if a space alien with like superhuman technology comes to the Earth and has malicious intent, I don't know how I'm supposed to tell the difference between that and a demon.